Good morning, Abraham. I belong to the CD of the Month subscription, and last month we got a CD of Tarrytown in October. And I put it on, and I was very excited because I was here last October. And I swear that I never heard any of it. And that wouldn't be so bad because I could have dozed off in the beginning or whatever. But I had also gotten the 4 CD set and had listened to that at least 4 or 5 times all the way through. So,
well, after the fact, we sneak in and put things on it that you are now ready to hear. No point in putting things on it that you're not ready to hear. Sure. So we wait until you're ready to hear them, and then we put them on.
Okay, so with that, I have 2 questions. One is, a little over a year ago, I had a beloved dog die. We had her for 12 years, and she died at home, and she was uncomfortable and sick for about a day. And then I was up with her at night. She took her last breath and then fell down dead. And
said, "This is how you do it."
And I was actually honored to be there at that moment. And also, I had been at my mother's and father's bedside when they had died. It was a little different because they were in the hospitals and were attached to all this stuff and under medication.
And they said, "This is not how you do it."
And so it brought a question to my mind. I can understand the non-physical. I communicate with that plane a lot. What I can't understand is life. I just can't grasp what it is.
When you say life, what do you mean?
I guess I don't mean life. I mean existence in this physical world.
Good, because it's all life.
Right.
So you get non-physical, you get pure positive energy. Do you get the value of coming into an environment that causes you to focus?
Very, very much.
Then what is it you don't get?
I don't get how it works. How 1 minute there's a physical life force and 1 minute there's not.
Well, it's not so different. Think of it in terms of focus. So imagine yourself at home. You've cooked a meal. Those you love have shared it with you. You get into the car, and now you're no longer the person cooking a meal. Now you're a person driving the car. And now you drive to another place, and your point of focus changes, and you go into a movie theater, and you watch what's happening on the screen, and your thoughts are transformed into whatever that world is, and you're not thinking about what you're cooking, you're not thinking about the dishes that you left on the table, you're not thinking about the drive to the theater, you're not thinking about all of the other thousands of people that you know that aren't there with you. In fact, you might not even be thinking about the handful of people that are there with you. You're thinking about the new people that you're meeting on the screen. In other words, you're focused. You're having a reality based upon what you are giving your attention to. And then you leave the movie, you get up, you withdraw your attention from that, and you refocus back into the relationship with your friends, and back into the relationship with the car, and back into and so you're living life in relationship to whatever it is that you are using to activate your vibration. So as you care about how you feel when you focus, you begin to more deliberately choose things that feel good as you focus upon them. And as you do that, you begin to allow more of who you really are to be present in that moment. And the more you do that, the less you question what life is, because the more irrelevant it becomes, because no matter where you are, you're having a nice time. In other words, your life becomes one of, oh, this is interesting, this is fascinating, that's provocative, that's clarifying, ooh, I can feel something launching. In the minute that you launch a rocket, Source says, Yahoo, we agree, and rides the rocket. So a part of you went with the desire, and if the other part of you does not now go with the desire, there's discord within you. Source is not choosing for you what rockets it rides on your behalf. You're choosing those. But when you legitimately launch the rockets, as you constantly do, now your work is to stay up to speed with the rockets. And most people have been following the signs that somebody else put out there rather than their own guidance. And so it's hard for people sometimes to follow the rocket. And that's why so many question, what is the meaning of life? People scramble around trying to figure out, the things you come up with as you describe what source is and what source expects of you, the distorted point of view that man has put on God as you make him vengeful, or as you make him responsible for you, or as you make him the puppeteer and yourself the puppet. In other words, it is really an interesting thing to watch all of the gyrations that humans go through in order to keep themselves comfortable in not following their own guidance. Where if you just follow your guidance, you have no question about what life is, because the trail of who you really are is so easy to sniff out. It just feels good wherever it is. And it doesn't matter if it's in the kitchen. It doesn't matter if it's cleaning the bathroom. It doesn't matter if it's taking a walk or looking at a bird or holding a baby. It doesn't matter if it's making love. It doesn't matter if it's watching something art or something of music or something of theater. It doesn't matter what you're focused upon. It only matters how you feel while you're focused, you see. So here you are. Don't try to go back to the beginning. Start with where you are.
Okay.
So here you are, with trillions of cells in your body, each and every one of them having its own personal experience in relationship with other cells, intelligence that they have evolved to, and each of them asking for what's best for them from where they are. So what you see now as manifested life is just this furthermost extension of a whole lot of asking and as much letting in as those asking have been able to allow. That's a really good answer. We're not sure anyone can really hear it. But
So your cells are asking for something different when you transition to the non-physical?
when you make your transition into non-physical, you redirect your focus, yes. And the cells of your body continue to have a relationship with your body long after you have released consciousness from it. You see, your cells are like vibrationally compliant components, and it's hard for us to separate the cells because everything in the universe is a vibrationally compliant component that moves about by law of attraction, directed by the projection of thought of someone. It is an interesting thing to watch someone die, and the easiest way to acknowledge it, and you don't want to do this right now yet, but we want you to see yourself not as the body of the dog or the body of the human. We want you to see yourself as consciousness. Begin to look at an experience like someone you love making their transition from point of consciousness rather than point of physical body, because the physical body is just the platform that houses the point of consciousness. It just helps in giving you the perspective. All of this, we don't want to upset you, but it's all illusionary anyway. The reason you see things is because your eyes translate vibration. And the reason that you all think you're seeing what you're seeing is because so many of you have so many translators that are doing similar things, and your comparative experience makes this a reality. But the reality is just the platform from which you focus. And we don't just mean the platform from which you focus, we mean the platform from which all that is focuses. In other words, you're out here having this real experience, in this real exposure to this real contrast, and out of it you're concluding a real new intention which source is agreeing with. The stability of the platform in which you are creating is phenomenal. We can't even find words that accurately describe the perfection of this environment in which we are all able to focus and be and feel joy. So focus on the consciousness, not so much on the body. And that's why we're guiding you toward things like thoughts and feelings rather than actions and manifestations. And as you focus upon feelings and thoughts and alignment of who you are, and you work on balancing the energy of your being because you are an energy being, then the manifestation takes care of itself. We love your question because so many people are so flesh-oriented. In other words, it's hard not to be. It's tangible, you can see it, but you are vibration first and foremost. And if you will tend to your vibration, the flesh takes care of itself. We like to say that there's the action journey, which is all that you've come to, all that you've accumulated to, all that you've become, which is how you feel, how you look in your body, how the cells of your body are responding to each other, how much money you've got in your bank account, the relationships you have with others, how much stuff you've accumulated. In other words, that's the action part of your experience. But right alongside of that action journey is an emotional journey, which is how you feel about all of that stuff. And so your question is a really good one to begin with here today, because while many people are wanting to understand the relationship between the physical stuff and the spiritual, we're wanting to distract you from the action physical awareness and get your attention more upon how you're feeling and the emotional journey, because we understand that when you do that and you take care of the alignment business, that all the flesh business falls into perfect alignment. Visiting with a friend recently who has arthritis in her hips, and she was very uncomfortable, a lot of pain in her body. And she said, how can I feel differently about it when I'm in such pain? And we said, feel the difference between arthritis in your hips and fear, and arthritis in your hips and hope. The vibrational difference between fearful and hopeful is the difference between whether you recover or not, you see. And so your question is, I get that, but here I had this beloved dog, and it had life force flowing into it, and it was alive and moving around, and we were having communication, and it seemed to be here focused with me, and then all of a sudden in an instant it was gone. And we say, first of all, it wasn't an instant, because 99% of every creation is complete before there's any physical evidence. And when you focus upon the consciousness of the dog, the consciousness continued. If you had been tuned into the vibration of the dog, you would have said, oh, you're still here, you're just not focused in that flesh anymore. And you are as real now, not in the flesh, as you were in the flesh, you see. But you can't get around it. This physical body is a strong and powerful point of focus. Esther told Jerry this morning, I cannot find my father as easily as I could when he was recently transitioned. And then she said, but to tell you the truth, I haven't been looking very hard. In other words, it's not that he is not as easily accessible. It's that Esther is now distracted and focused upon other things that are feeling her vibrational nature and that are actualizing all around her, you see. It's not that anything ceases to be. It's only where is it in relationship with the active vibrations that are within you. And it's easier for you to have a relationship with someone who's still in their physical body than with somebody who isn't, because you can look at their physical body. And their physical body forces you to focus upon the beingness that is them, you see. That was really good. Yes, very good.
Yeah, good.
Yes.